3 days ago, the chief of police was again allowed to speak
at our GA during a proposal session.
During a proposal session
With no proposal.
without permission.
Yeah.
No, and after having voted that we were going to maintain police neutrality, which means
right.
no more using of the
That's right.
space for like advocating for the police.
And I'd also like to speak to that a little bit too. I feel like the people who have been brave enough to speak out, especially by themselves, and say I don't have positive feelings for the police, I feel like that our occupation as a whole, for the most part, squashes these people down. I don't think that that's right. We have to stand together in solidarity, that we all can have our own opinions about the police. And if someone wants to speak out and say, I don't like the police, then you just have got to let them be.
Well, they squash some voices. They've been very selective. There are some serious manifestations of repression going on, and we are trying, I think collectively to move to a point where people understand how oppression looks like.
Right.
And I have spoken several times about this reality. I was the one who advanced the proposal for police neutrality. And it was it was an echo of many voices. And the idea is not so much what happens at the GA. The idea is how disrespectful some folks are being with the collective mandate, and the idea that an individual's choice can trump the collective, which is what happened. Like, somebody invited the chief of police to speak the other day. He didn't just walk in from out of nowhere, and whoever did it has enough contacts to do that and intentionally trumped the collective will. And that's completely in violation of the spirit of what I consider to be the occupation, as well
There's no
as the whole.
transparency.
Yeah, there's issues of transparency are key, and and accountability.
Right, because someone even addressed and said, who is responsible for this? And no one said anything. And if I really felt like, if you truly believed it in your heart, and if you could reason in your mind why it was a good idea, that you would have stood up and said, this is why.
Right.
So I feel like that somewhere there was an internal conflict all of a sudden saying, oops, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, along with the trainings around civil disobedience, there needs to be trainings, and I spoke very clearly about this the other day. We need more accountability. Any role that has a position of authority within the organization cannot be like in the hands of one single individual who's not accountable to anybody.
Right.
It needs to be groups. Individuals are still choosing and to exercise their own personal prerogative over the collective,
I agree.
and we need to really learn how accountability, responsibility to the group, and collectivism works. We cannot have a process that's supposedly committed to consensus and talk about direct democracy, and then have key roles and positions within the organization be kept sort of like almost everybody who was not interested in believing that somehow the police force as a force were somehow our friends or in our support, or letting us, like you said, do anything, So anyway, folks, you got all that? All right. So I wonder if Lucian wants to say something.
Yeah, of course. Thank
You want to say something, bro? Live stream? Okay. Man, woo!
I don't know, I really thought our First Amendment rights were protected and stuff, but cops can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the lesson that I've learned from this.
Yeah. Well, too bad it has to be learned this way. We kind of knew that, right? I mean, you were one of the people who was not convinced about the whole idea that we could have a real cozy relationship, Were you sitting in?
I wasn't in the first wave that got arrested, but I went back when the cops were going to when they made their line and were going to sweep down. And I saw some comrades who they weren't gonna move, and I just really felt.
You wanted to be in solidarity. Did you see folks being picked out, like who are not part of the sitting?
I was already on the bus when that started happening.
Oh yeah. So, but some people were taken.
That's what I heard, that cops were saying that guy's got to go or take that one.
Were you read your rights?
Nope.
You were-
And when I asked the people in here if anybody was supposed to read us our rights, they said, "You've been watching too much TV."
You were watching too much TV? Wow. So, would you say that the Austin Police Department is our friend of the?
After this experience, like, I know we shouldn't be saying this, but like, fuck the police.
Yeah. Right on.
Fuck the police.
Yeah. Well, you heard that, like, they were really humiliating a lot of the women, right? And that they were actually. Did you hear that the women were being strip searched by male officers?
I did not know that.
Yeah. They would not bring women officers to search them.
That's ridiculous because when we were being booked, like, they had women patting them down and stuff. So I don't understand why there wasn't a female officer to do that if they did go so
yeah,
far.
I mean, they were actually, yeah, it's worse. I'm not sure what the strategy is. I mean, they fucked up. I mean, big time. I mean, they must think. I don't know. I don't understand. Exactly. Maybe like the legality of the idea that they were detaining people first and then not arresting them, and so they didn't have to read their rights. But then, I mean, can they detain people indefinitely and then not actually put them under arrest?
Sure, that's somewhere in the Patriot Act.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna. Pretty sure I'm banned from going to City Hall right now, but that's not gonna stop me from going back.
Yeah. So did they say anything about that? Did they say about you being banned?
No, just right before they put us on the bus, a lady was writing stuff on a pad, and she said, "You're being charged with criminal trespassing, and
So that
you're not allowed to come back to City Hall property."
Well, you see, that's 36 people that they're hoping would not come back. So that's a pretty nice chunk of people, especially because they seem to have targeted folks who they identified as active participants.
That's something that I noticed when I was in
Video
there.
camera
That
taping them, and I've noticed a lot of them were people
Huh?
in the front. I've noticed they had a video camera up there, and most of the people they arrested were up in the front of it.
Yeah, that's a little bit troubling, because I think that they're hoping to sort of figure out how to break the back of the occupation by targeting people that are not going to be able to go back now. Like grabbing them, right? So, fucking circus, man.
Yeah,
It's just like, I mean,
but all they succeeded in doing was making it stronger.
did you see any blatant acts of physical violence by the police, or?
no, but there was a lot of behavior from the police, from the sheriffs that were inside there that I did not like. There was this one gentleman who as we were getting our materials processed, I heard him come in and he said something about he was going to strangle somebody. So that alone immediately like tensed me up. And then he came towards me as I was counting my cash, and
You were counting your cash?
right, and I put it on the counter, and I was supposed to give it to the lady because she was going to put it in the machine to count it. He walks by and he puts his hand on my cash, and I wasn't letting go of it, and he said, "Let go of your money." And so I let go of it. He counted it, and then he asked me how much I had. But it's like, what's the point of you trying to do this? Like, are you trying to intimidate me or some shit?
Yeah, there's been a lot of I mean, the women that the sister that was talking before you, said that they kept trying to provoke a reaction out of them in terms of like comments about like their underwear and stuff, and just saying, and then she said they would say these things and then look at them straight in the face just to gauge a reaction to try to provoke them, to just try to provoke something. So the way she described it, as far as like her experience, it was a pretty consistent form of like psychological abuse, like almost like psychological warfare, that it's not accidental because it's become systemic, you know, and I'm hoping to maybe like bring forth a couple of more folks, because then this can become an archive. Is this thing being archived somehow, or
Yeah,
does it
it should
disappear
be.
into thin air, or what?
It's been being archived and stuff. Some of the stuff is being saved into an archive that's separate from that, but most of it goes straight up into the air and saved on the website.
Yeah, because it would be nice to have like, you know, like permanent
Go
testimony.
look at the
from people.
videos and stuff. It should be in there on the
Oh, I'm glad
webpage.
you're out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Our potluck like got a little bit
Man,
you know, it's like I got
thank
the
you.
black beans in the car and shit. All right,
See this guy, man. This is
let me tell you something on the side. Did you hear? Did you? Hey, can we like fax the lawyer and text her?
Who?
Okay, so great.
Natalie? Scary stuff to cops have been doing.
Really?
Something like that. They said like they get enough to bond out to once they're not being able to get in personal bonds. Like they get about like he said, it's over and stuff set up. There's like 10 people there. There's about like 17 people that they had already. Maybe more. I don't know. They had already approved. And, yeah, I think it was an address thing was a problem. But they've been steadily getting them up to where they can. Man, I need to stop yelling for a few days.
Was that your projector hooked up last night and stuff?
No, that wasn't mine. I think that was what's his name? Maybe that was Austin 88. It's Austin's. Does he have the stuff down there? Or does he just bring it out? He brings it out with him and stuff. Yeah, get a projector out there. I know people that are guard dog and make sure it's safe 24/7 and stuff.
Mike, Jack!